you're telling us that those who
I have
just
told you who is
shop
enrolled.
are enrolled.
I have told you, sir, who is enrolled.
Okay,
and
that's
whose
why
names
that's
are
why
being
we're frustrated,
turned over.
because we just don't get
This
the truth
isn't
out of it. You cannot say, as you had numerous times, that these preventative care services are quote unquote free of charge, can you?
They are free to the consumer, yes, sir.
They are not. There is no free lunch, Madam Secretary.
If you have preventive care and prevent a more costly hospital stay, cancer.
All right, I got it.
Well, that was Kathleen Sebelius, you may recall, under oath, testifying about the failed launch of Obamacare's website in the weeks after the disastrous rollout. But key Republicans say they think some of her testimony was not entirely honest and truthful. In a 12-page letter, House Oversight Committee Chair Darrell Issa warning Sebelius she could face perjury charges if she doesn't correct her testimony. Congressman Trey Gowdy sits on the House Oversight Committee. He joins us live. Congressman, always good to talk to you. So the letter, and I have excerpts here, says correct the record and be truthful. What, in your judgment, was she allegedly not truthful about?
Well, Secretary Sebelius has always had a complicated relationship with the truth for the 3 years that I have been in Congress. You go back and think about how difficult it was for us to get the documents in the first place, the documents that we're now using to judge the veracity of her testimony. Think back to the fall where she said the law requires us to launch on October the 1st when there is no law that requires that. Now, lying to a television camera or a reporter is one thing. Lying to a committee of Congress is actually a crime. No matter how unpopular we are, you still can't lie to a committee of Congress. There are three areas that Chairman Issa is concerned about. Number one, the testing that was done prior to the launch. And there's a witness named Teresa Fryer. Her testimony is in direct contravention or direct conflict with Secretary Sebelius.
Right.
It's tough to win those cases, which is why we need the documents.
And Sebelius also testified that the Maitri Corporation recommended the launch proceed on October 1st. Is that also, in your judgment, not true?
Yes. Well, let me say this. There is evidence that casts that testimony in an untruthful light.
The company said they were never asked.
Yes, there's a conflict not only between the Mitter Corporation and Secretary Sebelius, but also another government employee named Teresa Fryer, which is why we need the documents. If one person says the light is red and another one says the light is green, one may be lying, they may be mistaken. We need the documents. We need to know what Sebelius knew before she came to Congress.
You know, in order to be convicted of perjury, you have to prove that somebody knowingly and intentionally committed a material false representation of fact. Maybe she was just uninformed, and many of her critics say she's incompetent. Well, neither of those are a crime, are they?
No, incompetence is not a crime. If it were, I wouldn't have very many colleagues, and I probably wouldn't be here either. Now, let me say this. You also have a duty to educate yourself. Think back to Clapper. Clapper said he gave the least untruthful response. Well, that's not an option. You either say yes, no, or I don't know, or you can do like Lois Lerner did and invoke the Fifth Amendment, but you can't testify falsely. Did she know? Did she have a duty to know? That's what the documents are going to tell us. And Greg, she doesn't want us to have the documents. Remember, the last time I was on your show, it's because she was instructing the third parties not to give us the documents that we need to determine whether or not she lied to us.
Should she be fired or resign?
If you want to go back in a time machine 2 years ago, yes. I mean, he can't get anybody else confirmed because that person's going to have to answer the questions that she won't answer. I don't know if you heard her testify about the HHS contraception mandate, but she's in over her head. She doesn't know the law and she doesn't know health care. So how you can oversee the rollout of a takeover of 1/6 of the economy when you don't know the law and you don't know health care, you're going to have to ask her boss, but I thought she should have been gone a long time ago.
Congressman Trey Gowdy, good to see you as always. Thanks very much.
Yes, sir. You too.